Welcome to Summer Math Help. Today we will be discussing all we need to know about decimal points and place value. Here we have a standard decimal number, 3054.640830. And here we have the place values labeled thousand, hundreds, tens, and ones of our decimal point. And then we have the tenth, we have the hundredth, we have the thousandth, 10,000, 100,000, and then thousand, which would be million. So we're going to write that standard decimal number in expanded form. So we have 3,000 in expanded form. That is 3 times 1,000 plus we have 100, 0 times 100, so we don't need to put anything there. Then we have the tens, 5 times tens. 5 times 10 plus we have a 4 in the ones, so that will be plus 4 times 1. And we have our decimal point, so our next number would be plus 6 times 1 over 10. Tenth mean 1 over 10. So that would be 6 times 1 over 10 plus 400th would be 4 times 1 over 100. Then we have no tenth, which would be 0 times 1 over 1,000. Now we'll go to the 10,000, which would be plus 8 times 1 over 10,000. And then we have plus 3 in the 100,000 would be 3 times 1 over 100,000. And then we have 0 in the 1,000, which would be million. So we have a 0. We don't need to write a 0. And there we have our standard decimal number expressed in expanded form. So let's continue with our decimal. So now our decimal point, we're going to be adding with decimals 0.7 plus 5.8. So the rule to add decimal numbers is we line up the numbers vertically so that the points will line up. So here we have 0.7 plus 5.8. And we line up the point, and now we'll go ahead and we add 7 plus 8, 15. 5 carry 1, and 5 plus 1, 6. So 0.7 plus 5.8 is equal to 6.5. Another example, 27. And because it's a decimal, we can put a point and we can also put a 0. We line up the point 1.6. Yes, we write the number so that the points line up. And now we add. And we'll get a 6 right here. 8 and then 2. And that is 28.6. And let's continue with subtracting decimals. We do the same as we would do when we're adding. We line up the numbers so that the decimal points will line up. So here we have 8. And we could put a point, put a 0. And we have subtract 7.2. 0 take away 2. We can't. We borrow 1, leave 7. And the 1 is 10. 10 plus 0, 10. So now we can subtract 10, take away 2, 8. Line up the point in the answer. 7 take away 7, 0. Next, 0.1 minus 0.08. And we can put a 0 right here. Zero, take away 8, we can't. We borrow 1, leave 0. And the 1 is 10. 10 plus 10 plus 0 is 10. Now we can subtract. 10 take away 8, 2. Let's line up the point. 0 take away 0, 0. And 0 take away 0, 0. And your answer is 0.02. Now let's move on to multiply decimals. Here we have a decimal number times a whole number. And we have a decimal times a decimal. But before we do that, let's look at when we're multiplying a decimal by 10 or a power of 10. Like 10 to the first power is 10, 10 to the second power, 100, and 10 to the third power, 1000. So the simple way to do that, when we multiply by 10, we move the point one place to the right. So if we move the point one place to the right, we're going to get it right there. So here we have 12.7. Next, to multiply by 10 to the second power, which is 100, move the point two places to the right. 1, 2, so the point is now behind the 7. So that is equal to 127 point, which is the same as 127. And then when we multiply by 10 to the third, which is 1000, we move it 3 places. So that is equal to 1, 2, 3. So you notice there's no number right here. So we're going to just fix a 0 as a placeholder. So our answer is 1270. So short method, to multiply a decimal by 10 or power of 10, we move the decimal point to the right. Now let's look at 0.23 times 4. So when we're multiplying decimal, the easy way to do it is just to multiply the number, leaving out the decimal point. So that would be 23 times 4. 4 times 3, 12. That is 2 carry 1. 4 times 2, 8. Plus 1 is 9. So we have 92 when we multiply 23 by 4. Then we go back to the original and we see how many decimal places. So here we have 2 decimal places and here we have 0. So our answer will have 2 decimal places in all. Counting from the back, 1, 2. So our decimal point will be in front of the 9. So our answer is equal to 0.92. Next, 0.041 times 1.5. Again, we're going to multiply. So this is equal to 41 multiplied by 15. 5 times 1, 5. 5 times 4, 20. 1 times 1, 1. 1 times 4, 4. And then we add. We could put a 0 right there. This is 5. This is 1. And this is 6. Now we go to our original problem. We have 1, 2, 3 decimal places, and we have another 1 right here. So in total, our answer should have 4 decimal places, counting from the back. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is where our decimal point will be. That means we need a 0 right here. So our answer is 0.0615. 0.0615. And before we move on to dividing decimal by whole number and decimal by decimal, let's go through how we simply divide decimals by 10 and powers of 10. So we have 63.15 divided by 10, which is 10 to the first power. So we're going to move the decimal point this time to the left. So it's 1 place to the left. So it's now between the 6 and the 3. So that is equal to 6.315. 63.15 divided by 100, 10 to the second power, 2 places to the left, 1, 2. So decimal point is right in front of the 6. So that is 0.6315. And then we have 63.15 divided by, this should be 1000, 10 to the third power. Three places to the left. One, 2, 3. And we have an open space, which we will put a placeholder 0. And that is now equal to 0. The point is now here in front of the 0.06315. So quick method to multiply decimal by 10 or power of 10. we move the point to the right, and to divide a decimal by 10 or powers of 10, we move the decimal point to the left. So now let's move on to dividing decimals with whole number. So 16.8 divided by 2. So let's 16.8 divided by 2. Now let's line up the point in the answer. How many times can 2 go into 1? 0 times. How many times can 2 go into 16? 8 times. Multiply 8 to 16. Subtract, we get a 0. Bring down the 8. How many times can 2 go into 8? And that is 4 times. 4 times 2, 8. So our answer is equal to 8.4. And now we have 32.16 divided by 0.8. So whenever we are dividing decimals, we have to make the divisor a whole number. So to make this 0.8 a whole number, we are going to multiply by 10. So we're going to multiply by 10. And to make the sum balance, we have to do the same to the dividend, the number we are dividing. So 1 place to the right, 1 place to the right. So now we have 3, 2, 1.6 divided by 8. So first, let's line up the point in the answer. How many times can 8 go into 3? 0 times. How many times can 8 go into 32? 4 times. 4 times 8, 32. Subtract, nothing. Bring down the 1. How many times can 8 go into 1? 0 times. Bring down the 6. How many times can 8 go into 16? 2 times. 2 times 8, 16. And that is equal to 40.2. And there you have it. Everything you need to know about decimal points and place value. Thanks for watching, and please stay tuned for more summer math help.